big realization from a coaching aspect this year is crying. Clients don't struggle with discipline or not wanting something enough. That stance from a coach. Now, the first year or two of coaching, I would say every time like a client didn't do what the structure I gave them, or didn't manage to do everything, I would have been a lot more empathetic than most coaches, but still I got annoyed. I would say 99% of the time I didn't act on that emotion, but I did get annoyed. You would just be like, why is this person not doing this? They're not disciplined. How come I can do it and they can't? That's like, I think that's a natural human reaction. So building self-awareness is understanding what human nature is, and I think that's a very normal human reaction. Acting on your ego is a very normal human action as well. But as a coach, you need to be the most self-aware person in order to help your clients the most, because in order to help your clients the most, you need to teach them the skill of being self-aware. Right, so one of the biggest things I've learned on this topic alone is clients do want it. They do want it as much as you. They struggle with self-sabotaging themselves because they have no belief in themselves. That's my experience with most clients. So you need to dig into why they don't believe in themselves. Whatever the reason is, it's always utter bollocks, right? But that's what all thoughts are. Like most thoughts that hold people back are thoughts that they've made up in their head, that they've said enough times to themselves that they fully believe, right? So like people, like for example, take a random thought, right? A very common one. I can't stick to the gym because I've never went for longer than 3 weeks, right? The reason they've never went for longer than 3 weeks is because of that thought. If they went for 6 weeks, if they got to the third week and that thought came up and they just went, that's just a thought, that's not actually me, and went to the gym, that disproves that thought, and it starts to build self-belief. Now, they'll need more than that, just one gym session to like really build on that, because the thought is still going to be there, it's just going to be a wee bit quieter, but they can still fall into the trap of thinking that thought is a real character trait that they have. Now, if you come at it from the angle of you just don't want it enough, what you need is discipline, that person, whether they are conscious of it or not, starts to lose trust in you as a coach, because you don't understand them. You don't understand what it's actually like to be in their shoes. That's why a lot of coaches who have never been overweight struggle to help people lose weight who have been overweight their full lives, because without ever having that experience, they can't put themselves in the shoes or not react emotionally to someone who is overweight self-sabotaging themselves. Now, you do not have to have been overweight to help people lose weight, but because if you think about where people self-sabotage themselves, right, it's just in different areas of life, but you can pull some sort of similarity from somewhere else, right? So I was talking about this to a client the other day. My money situation's better this year, right? But I had to, and I'm still a work in progress, right? So everything I tell people not to do with food and weight loss and stuff, I would do that with money, right? So if my bills increase, not even my spending, like as in me purchasing things, so my expenses all come out at the start of the month, right? And sometimes they hit me like you know what I mean? Like my car insurance comes out, like, and then like the bills for the studio come out. Then like I've got an email list. You know what I mean? It just comes out. I had some money there, now I don't. So when sometimes one will be more expensive than I'm expecting, and after that first week, my spending has also risen, and it's because I start thinking, right, I can't save any money this month, so I just start spending a bit more. And I've noticed, honestly, when I make more money, I spend less money because I'm like, right, I can make more so I can save more. But really, when I make less, I should also be trying to like spend less. But when I make more, when I make less, I spend more. And it's the opposite of what I tell people to do with calories. Because if I made less and spent less, I would still save a good amount. But unless it's saving, it's like people with weight loss. They're like, right, unless I'm losing as much as possible, then there's no point in losing half a pound. I may as well lose nothing. When it makes no sense. But it took me years to go over that with food. Now, I don't talk about weight loss, so I'm just using that as a concept because I think most of you, if you've been struggling with weight loss your full life, you should stop trying to lose weight and start trying to go to the gym, right? So scrap the whole, that was just an example. I honestly do not want to remotely push weight loss on people because it's one of the biggest mistakes people make is like using the gym to lose weight and like everything is about weight loss. But I like you can pull somewhere. You're a fuck up somewhere in your life. There's something in your life that you haven't mastered. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe as soon as one girl says something to you or the opposite sex, maybe as soon as you get rejected once, you'd say, oh, that full gender's fucked. You know, because people do that. But I've maybe fell into that trap before. So you can relate to people. Just, you might have to find a different scenario where your thoughts are just as fried as your clients, because they are, but they're also not real. They're not real things. Like I used to tell myself that I couldn't get past 3 months in a relationship, or I couldn't get in a healthy relationship. The only reason I had those thoughts is because I hadn't yet, and I hadn't been in a healthy relationship. But I kept telling myself that, and which made me keep like either avoiding it or going into like unhealthy situations, not really relationships. So you have to start stripping your ego away from your clients' results in order to help them, right? So yeah, you might see people doing all these weight loss transformations, but what I see a lot of coaches doing is like dragging their clients through 3 to 6 months of coaching, getting them to the other end, but that person hasn't built any self-belief or self-awareness in themselves. They've just been guilt-tripped into doing what the coach has asked of them. Then when that person goes on their own, they don't believe they can do it themselves anyway, and they just revert back to what they were doing. So I come at coaching completely differently. I'm like, because that won't work for all clients as well, by the way, dragging them through, that you'll actually have quite a small success rate. Just people's perceptions are flawed because coaches only promote the ones that, or only market the ones that they've done well. But I reckon, I don't have it on paper, right, but they'll have a lower success rate than the coaches who come at it from, right, I'm going to help them build self-awareness so they can do this on their own. Maybe not over the 6 months, but in 5 years, those clients who've worked with those coaches will be in a better situation. Hands down, 100%. I put all my money on it. All of it. Make me skin. Anyway, so this is such good chat, right? If I say so myself, and because this is probably the most important topic, right? So even though I'm fumbling the ball right now because I've forgot where I was going with that, but I was going to say? There's only positives to gain from understanding yourself, right? And you cannot take it personally if a client doesn't do what you've set out for them to do. So say it's 3 workouts a week and they come back and they've only done none, right? And you have a visceral reaction straight away of anger. You want to emotionally react to it and stuff, but you haven't even scratched the surface yet. You haven't even asked them why. You haven't even went, or not even why, because that sounds like a dig, because even that sort of wording is just not the way you want to go about it. But even just going, oh, what happened last week? Or not even, what went on your, what was going on in your life last week? You'll find an answer in there where you can then ask another question. It's like, this is the anniversary of when my mum died. Just honestly, stuff like that can happen. Had a breakup, or somebody rejected me, or I missed one session because of work, and then I felt like I'm self-sabotaging myself again, and then I did self-sabotage myself again. There's your conversation, right? There you go. That's the issue. The issue isn't the fact they haven't done the workouts and your ego feels attacked from that and you feel like you're a shit coach. That's your ego talking. The issue is their issue, and it's not your issue, it's theirs, and you need to help them get through that. And you can't do that unless you strip your ego away and go, okay, this isn't because I'm bad at my job. I need to figure out what went on so I can help them. And the only way you can help them is figure out what happened. By speaking about it, they'll understand themselves more, you'll understand them more, and then you can go, right, is 3 workouts a week too hard for you? And they go, yeah, my schedule right now, I'm self-employed and I'm too busy to get 3 in. Probably I've got 2 kids. Okay, do you want to do 1 or do you want to do 2? And they go, let's try 2. And I go, okay, 1 minimum. If you can get 2, great. Most of the time they go away and they do 2 and come back